Through you, Mr. Mayor, it is 9 a.m. and the live stream has commenced. You may begin your meeting.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. I see that we have quorum for today's council meeting, so I'll call this meeting into session for the regular meeting, council meeting for Wednesday, January 28th. We now ask all those that can to rise for the national anthem. Thank you. I'd now like to call on Councillor Barnarski to read the land recognition statement. Councillor.
The town of Pelham is situated on treaty land, steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hadiwandurunk, Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island live and work in Niagara. The town of Pelham stands in solidarity with all Indigenous peoples, past and present, acknowledging that our high standards of living is a result of the resources and lasting friendship of the Indigenous peoples.
Thank you, Councillor. I now turn to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings us to the approval of the agenda, and I have a motion moved by Councillor Wink, seconded by Councillor Hildebrand. Be it resolved that the agenda for the January 28th, 2026 regular meeting of council be adopted as circulated. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. From council, any questions or comments? Not seeing any, I'll call a vote. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings you to disclosure of pecuniary interests.
Thank you. After viewing the agenda, does any council member have a pecuniary interest to declare? Not seeing any, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and we will start this morning with presentations.
Okay, thank you. And council, senior staff, we have a special guest joining us today, Chairman of the Niagara Region, Bob Gale, who is the second best elected official at the region. And of course, Council Olson will jump up. Mr. Gale, you have
that
the floor.
one already, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, councilors, staff, and citizens. You can call this a meet and greet. You can call this my traveling road show, but I'm going around to every council just to make myself known. A lot of you already know me. I've been around long enough. You know my personalities. We were on the police together 100 years ago? Just about. Something like that, but you kept your hair, I lost mine. But regardless of that, I wanted to come around and just say on December 16th, I was with Doug Ford and others down in Niagara Falls, and we announced over $1 billion worth of projects as chair of the Niagara Parks Commission. 2 days later, I was out, and I was in as Niagara Regional Chair. And now I'm here to serve you and the citizens and everybody else. I just go out of my way. Every council I go to, there's different comments from councilors, and I just say, if you need something, call me, email me, get a hold of my staff. A question last night at Port Colborne was, we want you to be more transparent. I think I am transparent, but if I'm not, challenge me. on this with information that you're allowed to have. If it's confidential, I can't give it to you, but please feel free to contact us at any time. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'll leave it up to you if anybody has any questions for me.
Okay, and again, Bob, thank you for taking the time to come to visit council today. Maybe
I'll
you'll
be here again if you wish, whatever you want.
I remember the last time you were here, you brought the police commission meeting here.
Yes, we did.
And you were chair at that time, I believe.
Was, yes, sir.
Excellent, thank you. Any members for Niagara Regional Chair from any member of council? To the Deputy Mayor, Eckert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, it was 51 years ago, Bob.
It was.
Yes.
And it's hard for me not to call you Brian, so I'm always
Well,
Bob, okay?
You can call me whatever you want. I remember in 1974, I think you called me a few other things, so.
Could have. And
Yes.
we played hockey together. You were
Yes.
wonderful. I was not. So,
One of the big topics, and I don't want to put you on the spot, and if you don't know, you don't know, or if you can't say, you can't say, but, there's a lot of misinformation swirling around about what's going to happen at the region and with municipalities, with elected officials and stuff like that. Have you any indication of any of that coming, or?
no, but I have not had any meetings. I know what you've read in the media. I'm sure I will be informed down the way. I would think I will be. But I'll just tell you, the way I lean is we have too many politicians in the Niagara region. I sit on with a council of 32 people. That in itself, trying to get things done with 32 people is tough. Not to say it's wrong, but so there has to be changes. I just hope they're the right changes. So, and when it comes time for everybody to know, I would think the powers of Toronto will let us know if it happens. This rumor's been going around for 4 years.
Yeah.
There has to be something happen. And, I've had people meet with me saying, oh, we want our own identity. I said, I'm out. I'm not involved in this right now. But I imagine down the way I will be as chair of the Niagara region. So, and I would think they would have to go to public consultation on anything goes on. I know the stages that it would have to go through, but, the answer is I really can't give you any information, Brian. And if I knew anything that was confidential, I couldn't tell you anyways. But right now I'm telling you, I don't.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other questions, comments to the chairman? If I may, Bob, as you know, the region will be wrapping up our budget. Is that at the next meeting that you hope to?
On February 12th, if you saw, the budget was sent back to me.
Yes.
Mayor Easton knew that I was more or less out of the process a bit there because of the considerations for regional chair. So now they've put the budget to me to find more efficiencies. I could have found some, but I can't report right now. February 12th is when I bring that to light on a lot of things that we've got going, and don't expect miracles. But then again, everybody knows what I'm like, and I look at things and I ask a lot of questions, like Wayne does,
there you go.
like you do. And we've run businesses before, so I have a different attitude than other chairs on things. Plus, I'm pretty receptive, and I'm pretty good to say I don't know on something, but I'll always get back to you on stuff. So,
Excellent, appreciate that. And everyone knows the big bugaboo at the region is our infrastructure. But gee, it's a pretty big area, and it's a lot of pipes in the ground that.
yeah, I made the motion of governance at 3.5%, seconded by someone else.
Yes.
But now on my head it says regional chair. So I have to look as the group now, not the individual counselor that's always doing stuff. So it's a bit of change in my mindset on some things.
Yes.
Although it's hard to break at 71 years old from the old tradition. So I told at the Niagara Parks Commission, I told them at the police, and I told them at the region, get used to me going around and driving around and stopping into places. I know the rules of delegation. I read the book Search of Excellence years ago. But I also know that I have a duty to go around and look at different places, be in a pump house in Waynfleet or whatever it is. So I said, don't get concerned if I show up there, but I will show up there. And if you can't deal with that, I'm the wrong guy for you.
Yes.
I hope I worded that right, but if not, I don't care.
Yeah.
I stop in places and I walk around. So
Yes. Hey, I think most people will agree with your hands-on way of doing business, and that's why I'm looking forward to continued cooperation at the region from the town.
yeah, I've always got along with Pelham. I get along with them all. You just know where I'm coming from and stuff. So I appreciate the relationship we have with Pelham here. I know there might be changes down the way, but I'm only a phone call away.
Okay, excellent. I'm not seeing any other questions. Thank you for taking the time.
Bid you adieu. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gale. I turn to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings us to item 6.1.2, a WWA water audit presentation. And we are joined this morning by Jade Holland and Joe Thompson of Aspire Consulting. Joe will be presenting for us this morning. Mr. Mayor, we are expecting a member of the Pelham Finance and Audit Committee. I don't believe they are here yet. Jody will let us know when they join, and perhaps we'll address that before we get into the Q&A.
Okay.
Okay, so I welcome Joe to present.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. You have the floor, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, council, staff, and attendees. Thank you for having me, and bear with me for 1 second while I share my screen. Okay, good morning. I'm Joe Thompson. I'm project coordinator with Aspire Consulting. After working closely with town staff on the 2024 AWWA water audit, I am here today to present you the findings and recommendations from that report. The AWWA water audit is recognized as the industry standard across North America for conducting water audits. The audit supports the town in quantifying losses, improving data confidence, and informing decision-making. The town will use these outputs from the audit for strategic planning to reduce non-revenue water and enhance regulatory reporting. So what is the methodology of the AWWA water audit? It starts first with data collection. We collect and verify all relevant data inputs for 2024. Each point was received from town staff and then assigned confidence scores through a questionnaire. This is all done through a software tool provided from AWWA, which is an Excel tool. And this tool then has questionnaires for each input on where the information came from, how valid is that data, what do you look into these features, that features. We populated the audit tool. The tool calculates key performance indicators, including apparent and real losses, non-revenue water, and infrastructure leakage index. We identify any gaps or inconsistencies that might affect audit reliability, and highlight areas where improved data tracking could lead to better decision-making. We get to the big number. The whole reason why we're here is non-revenue water. It's the sum of the system losses and unbilled flows, such as firefighting. The cost of real losses and unbilled is calculated at the town of Pelham's purchase rate, what they pay the region. Apparent losses, they're calculated at the customer billing rate. So real losses are physical losses in the system, something that leaks out before it gets to the customer. And our apparent losses then are inaccuracies in meters, any sort of data handling errors, stuff that would have normally been revenue at that higher rate. And that's how the software calculates that. Then we get into the key performance indicators. There's two types. There's cost rates, and then there's unit rates. So we're going to take a look here. I'm not sure if you can see the gauge charts that are on the screen. We've got total cost rate per connection per year, apparent cost rate, and real loss cost rate. You'll notice that these are above the median. But you'll also notice my first point, the fixed import from Niagara region. That cost cannot be changed. There's no room for improving what you're paying for your water. So that cost is per connection. It's from the region. There's not much you can do about that part. In plain terms, it is what it is. Then when we get to the unit rates and you look at losses per unit, your total losses in liters, you'll see that we're much more around the median, below it, maybe just slightly above it. These are indicators of good performance. There's also a unitless indicator there known as the infrastructure leakage index. The town of Pelham has scored a 1.5. And you'll note on the slide that a rating of 2.0 or lower shows good system performance. So our audit has revealed that the town of Pelham's water network does have good system performance. That ILI, I would like to just point out, it's calculated using unavoidable real losses, which looks at lengths of pipes, number of customer connections, operating pressures. So we really took a deep look into the network within the town. So after all that, where did those key performance indicators come from? Well, we talked about the inputs, and then we talked about the questionnaires that come with it. Those questions that we answered produce a data validity score. You can see here that the town of Pelham is scored in Tier 3. The data provided for this audit is reliable for high-level analysis. Tiers 1 and 2 only focus on improving your data collection and some minor goals. Tiers 3, 4, and 5, that's where you can set benchmarks. You can make goals, set benchmarks, and work towards a better system. I think the town did very well to be that in the high side of Tier 3, where it's going to recommend targets, 10-year targets. As you go on, in Tiers 4 and 5, you're going to look at 3 5-year goals, shorter goals. You're going to be auditing more frequently. You're going to tighten that up, but that's where we are with Tier 3. So where do the recommendations come from? The recommendations come from the loss control chart that's at the back that accompanies the data validity score. This is in the report, by the way. So we look at these the chart, and then we come up with these recommendations. So number 1, structured data management. Town should define a formal procedure for internal and external billing accuracies. These volumes should be tracked and used in future audits for target setting and benchmarking, like analysis of meter multipliers, flagging unusual meter readings prior to bills being generated, stuff like that. Number 2, GIS enhancements. Ensure that all service connections are accurately tracked, including key attributes like size, age, material, and tracking of abandoned connections, because they are still points that could leak within the network. We know at the KPIs, they're all per connection, right? So if we don't know that there's all these old abandoned connections that could be leaking, then those prices, those units, all go to the lower amount of connections. Number 3, we're looking at a meter replacement program, and not necessarily replacing them as they break, but establishing a proactive replacement schedule, not overburdening a program that you have to roll out where you change a lot of them, which I believe happened 10 to 15 years ago. And this is important because the meters that we did 10 or 15 years ago are now in the 15 to 20 year life cycle, where inaccuracies are going to start to increase on these meters, and they never overbill. Number 4, operational flow tracking. Implementing standardized worksheets for firefighting, hydrant testing, flushing, and main breaks to improve accuracy of unmetered consumption. So standardizing how we track that and then auditing that as it happens is a good way to say, hey, yeah, we lost that water. We're not getting revenue on it, but we know where it went. Number 5, new development policy. Establish and enforce a policy requiring developers and contractors to be responsible for capping abandoned water mains at the water services at the main. In instances where services are commissioned prior to metering, it's also a good idea to assign an estimated volume to these accounts. What are they using before their line's commissioned, but their meter's not installed yet? Assigning a volume to that, again, will track all your volumes. And finally, the data audit for meter accuracy. It'd be a good idea to implement an annual internal audit program to verify meter accuracy at the time of billing. This could be done in several ways. One of them possibly being, taking a representative sample of meters from throughout the town and doing some testing and verifying their accuracy. Thank you very much. This concludes my presentation. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention today and appreciate the opportunity to prepare the report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thompson, for this report. I think it's always great to have an extra set of eyes on how the town is functioning out in the field, so I appreciate that. Before turning it over to council, my one question. The town rated 1.5, and you said it was good, and I take your word for it. Do lots of towns get to 1 and less? Or, I guess that's the question. How many towns that you deal with, cities, get, let's say, below 1, say, or whatever would be the standard?
I don't think getting below 1 is achievable, not that I've seen through my research. Again, but it's not like every town is doing this annually and publishing those results.
Sure.
So there's a limited source of data there, but yeah, again, anything under 2 is good, and 1.5 is definitely very good.
Excellent. Well, that's nice to hear, because I know we've been spending quite a few dollars since I've been mayor on infrastructure, laying new pipes in the ground. So obviously we're heading in the right direction. Thank you. Any questions, comments on the report from members of council? No, well, Council Nesnick.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. So thanks for your presentation. I'm glad you were here to describe it or explain it. When I first looked at it, it was like, ooh, this is like, I don't know, Greek. So anyways, thank you. I just was wondering, and this might be a question for Mr. Marr, of any of those recommendations, do we currently have any of those policies or programs in place that we're working towards at the moment?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Cook may have some additional information to add. Looking at the recommendations, there are some things that we're doing or actively doing. We're looking at, for the GIS improvements, we're looking at establishing a process and a program where we map out where the water shutoffs are, and that'll determine where the services are. Currently, we don't have that, so that's a project we're going to be undertaking in the next year or two for sure. Ryan, do you have anything to add on with respect to the policy development, flow tracking, that type of stuff?
Yeah, through the mayor, there are a number of easy kind of wins in this report, which is nice. One of the things that we've started already is actively tracking and metering our operational use, at least on the water department side. So you'll see when we're out flushing water mains now, we're hooking up a meter and actually actively tracking that instead of just an estimate. One of the things that will really help us out, I think, is getting a GIS point on every single one of our water services so that staff can actively go out and leak detect those. We do have the acoustic equipment. Sometimes we just don't know where those water services are. And the reason that's really important for us is that if you consider a pinhole in a service line, whether that's on private or public side, one small pinhole, I calculated this morning just so I knew it, but you're looking at 270 cubic meters a year of loss. As that pinhole grows, as that's what generally happens, and because of our sandy soil, oftentimes it doesn't surface. But once you get up to a 1/8 diameter hole, you're looking at 35,000 cubic meters loss. So it doesn't really take many service leaks to equal out that 100,000 cubic meters that we're losing. But some of that requires active leak detection to find it, and to do that, we do need the proper information in GIS. So we're working towards all those things.
Councillor?
Thank you very much.
Oh, we have a comment from Ms. Quinlan Murphy.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, with regards to the internal audits, we are looking at verifying doing some internal audit procedures, going from the meter, checking the accuracy of the data from the meter. So that's one procedure that we're looking forward to doing this year. And also, I want to mention that the audit report, this water audit was requested from the Finance and Audit Committee, and we will be presenting to the Finance and Audit Committee tomorrow with regards to this report. And really happy that we've done this. I mean, it was 12 years ago that the last one was done, so this is really good for the town to do this, and also to see that the water losses, you know, we're in really good shape. So that was the question from the audit committee. How are we doing with regards to the water losses? We didn't have that information. So now that the audit's done, I think we can give the audit committee that comfort that the town of Pelham is doing a very good job.
Excellent. Thank you for that. My apologies, Councillor.
Thank you. That's great. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Not seeing any. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Turn to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Eckert, seconded by Councillor Kerr, for Council to receive the AWWA water audit presentation from Jade Holland and Joe Thompson of Aspire Consulting for information. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you one last time. Any further comments? Not seeing any. Call the question. All those in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks again. To the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings you to item 7, adoption of council minutes, and I have a motion put forth by Councillor Niznik, seconded by Councillor Bernarski. Be it resolved that the following minutes be adopted as printed, circulated, and read. CO1 2026, regular council meeting, January 14th, 2026. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions on these council minutes? I see none. Ask the vote. All those in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries.
Thank
To
you,
the clerk.
Thank you. That brings you to item 8. If there are any items to which council would like to lift from the consent agenda, now would be the time.
Okay, thank you. After viewing the consent list agenda, any item that any councilor wishes to pull, obviously we will have the opportunity to discuss each item as required, but for pulling them for further discussion, anyone wishes to pull one? I see not. Madam Clerk?
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. If you'd like to proceed in categories, we can begin with staff reports.
Okay, thank you. So staff reports, the clerks, corporate, fire, public works, planning, and the RCW and Meridian. Well, it'd be nice if we went to the top down, but doesn't matter. Anyone have a comment on any of the staff reports? Not seeing any. Yes, yeah, the CAO just reminded me that perhaps on the Meridian Community Center would be perhaps appropriate to again state that we have again broke a record in attendance, just under the 600,000, 598,000 people walked in and out into that building over the last year. Vicky, Maven, you and your crew, obviously with the programs, they obviously are resounding very well with the community. Any comments from you on that, attaining that goal?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. It's a busy place.
Yes.
It is very busy, and we're seeing more and more interesting rentals coming through, and the programs are filling, and sometimes that's an issue with programming being filled, and people still want to participate, and finding time to offer additional programs. So yeah, it's where you need to be.
there can't be too many spots in that building that aren't being used sometime during the 18 hours that you're open.
Yeah.
Excellent, very good. And I see Mr. CAO, any further comments?
Just that you have to like and respect the data integrity of an organization that had extreme temptation to pay one of the facilities attendants to walk in and out of the building for an entire shift to break 600,000. I mean, we're less than 1,500 off breaking, having a really good talking point, and we did not do that. So it's 598,000 and change, but truly spectacular. If years ago the dream was to have a facility that could have 250,000 visitors, when you double that, you get to 500. When you keep going, I don't, superlatives just don't cover it. The popularity of that facility is fabulous, and clearly it's great for the community. And people vote with their feet, right? Actions speak a lot louder than words, and the actions are people go. So,
Excellent, thank you for that. And obviously, anytime a town can build an asset that is being so well accepted by the community, that's definitely a good sign. So again, compliments to RCW crew for getting the right programs in place to draw the people out to use the facility. Thank you. While we're on that, any other comments on that? Oh, let's go to Councilor Wink, please. May I also say, Mr. Wink, I just want to compliment you on your fine tan.
It's coming.
Yes. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions first one to corporate services. Just want some clarification under current bid and tenders. Under Pelham Park's upgrade, Touchdown site contractors had a bid of $535,880. And then in brackets, it says awarded $448,560. Can you please clarify what that, it's not, why those two figures aren't equal to each other?
Thank you, Councillor. And turning to... Oh. Just a minute, Councillor.
does someone know what the tender's for?
Oh, okay. We'll go to RCW Director Vicky Van Ravensway. Oh, we'll go to the Treasurer, Ms. Quinlan Murphy.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, in the tenders, we have provisional items in there, and so the final amount that's awarded is the $448,000. The value was the $535,000, so there are some provisional items that we probably didn't select.
Okay. Councillor?
Yeah, that's fine. Just when I was going through the report, it seemed odd that there was two separate numbers, and if I believe the budget amount was for
500,000.
somewhere, yes. So now we're below that. So again, that's a bit of a savings for us. So any savings is a win.
Right.
Right. The other question I have is for Public Works. Initially, the Pancake Lane reconstruction was being delayed because the region was going to take the lead on the reconstruction because there was going to be a trunk line from Pancake to Haste all the way up to the new water tower. It's indicated here that the region won't be taking part of the lead on Pancake Lane. Just wondering, when will the trunk line be installed into Haste all the way up to the new water tower at Lookout Point? So when will that work be done?
I'll turn to Jason Marr, Director of Public Works.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. So I think those conversations are still active with respect to who will take the lead on the project. We know that the region originally planned on starting the work for the new water tower and transmission lines in 2027. And from what we understand now, that project has been pushed off, so by several years. And with our own capital programming and some of the grants that we've received, Pancake Lane has also been shifted a few years to accommodate the large volume of work that's going to be taking place to support the Housing and Enabling Water Systems Fund grant. So that's the reason. I don't think it's closed on who's going to actually lead the project. We still plan on doing a joint project with the region. It's just depending on who comes first. If by chance we're ready to construct Pancake Lane and the region still wishes to have a transmission line, then we'll work with the region to include their infrastructure as part of our project, and we'll take the lead.
Councillor?
So, yes, so when will Pancake Lane reconstruction happen?
To the director?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, off the top of my head, I can't recall where that sits in the capital forecast, but I believe it's in 2029.
That's pushing it out a few years because I think when we first got in our term, Pancake Lane would have at least been started by next year. So appreciate the comments and giving us a heads up on when we can anticipate Pancake Lane being reconstructed. I do have concerns about Pancake Lane because of all the potholes that have been repaired over particularly in the last year. So I'm not sure how much longer that road surface is going to be able to handle the traffic without major reconstruction.
Thank you, Councillor.
Okay, thank you.
I guess my one comment I'd like to say is it is amazing the region keeps pushing that water tower back, because I believe it was supposed to be done already, wasn't it? I thought it was around 24, 25 in original, then they pushed it back to 27, and now you're saying it's pushed back several years now, Mr. Mark?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm not, I don't have exactly the timelines that they're looking at now. I do know that when we had discussions initially with the region, the plan was that they would start the work for the water tower, new water tower and transmission lines in 2027. Okay. So I know they've done some engineering work and they're continuing to do that, but we haven't been informed of what the actual date is for that project to take place, just that it's been delayed and won't take place in 27. So I'm looking at the report, and without having reference to the capital budget, we have plans to reconstruct Pancake Lane in 2028, 2029, pending council's approval, of course. But if at that time the region is not ready to go, but that's the route they want to go, our engineering team will work with their engineers to determine what requirements and what infrastructure needs to be put in place so that they can carry on with their work following the completion of our project.
Excellent, thank you. Any other comments, Councilor Wink? Wait, Council, before you go, I see we have a comment from our treasurer.
From the 10-year capital plan, it's projected right now for 2029.
Okay, 2029. Okay, Councilor Wink, any further comments?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor. Any other comments on consent agenda items? Councilor Nesnick.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Just a comment or maybe an update on some plans to tweak. So I'm just looking at the concession financial summary that we received. So thank you. I know it's only 7 months into the pilot project, and looks like some months have been profitable while other months have not been so profitable, which is sort of understandable considering those were the summer months. So looking forward to January, February, and March's numbers, and hopefully we can turn that deficit into a surplus, or at least a break even. I think even breaking even would be our goal at this time. So I'm just wondering if there's any tweaking that's been considered or some adjustments to the program moving forward to maybe possibly make it more profitable? That would be, I guess, directed to the Director of
RCW.
RCW.
Yep. To Ms. Ravensbury, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you for the question. Yes, it's, the summer months were challenging, and hiring new staff and getting all the equipment cleaned and everything, taking over the, basically the whole program was a learning experience. We also had to, the coordinator, we had to rehire, and that happened in July, so that was a bit of a hiccup as well. But things are going very well right at the moment. And what is helping is the catering and the rentals that we're getting through offering the catering for the rooms. We have some large events coming up in the tournaments as well. We just completed the International Silver Stick as well. That was very good. You'll see a big difference in numbers. And then staffing. Staffing is always a challenge when you have part-time students. So they're great, but their lives change. So again, you're constantly rehiring. So that is somewhat of a challenge, but we have lots to look forward to. We will be providing all of the meals at the camps beginning, and we will be providing a catering menu, working with local businesses as well. And during the week, every Wednesday, during lunch hours, the concession that's going to be added with specials as well. So we're looking at ways of improving our service, and we're always serving the public and seeing what else we can do.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Deputy Mayor Eckert.
Thank you very much. More of a comment on when I was at the MCC during the Silver Sick, a couple of times I stopped in. The concession area seemed extremely busy. I think people were well satisfied with what was going on there. A lot of food going out. Staff were working very hard. So I will be interested to see some of the numbers. We just had a basketball tournament there on the weekend as well, and so it'll be nice to see what that is. I think people are very happy with what we're doing there so far, but I would like to see that number get closer. Just one question to Mr. Marr, through you, Mr. Mayor. And it came up with Councillor Wink's question about the water tower and that. Does that have any impact on the project of coming down Churchill and into College and Emmett Street? Does that, what the region pushing that project back, does that have any bearing on us?
To the Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, no, it won't have any impact on those projects. The project it does have a little bit of impact on, and not negative, is our Canberra Road water main replacement project, which is scheduled to take place this year, but we've worked with the region to develop a plan for tying into the main there. So in essence, their project won't affect any of our capital programs related to Station Street, College, or Emmett, or Canberra Road.
Thank you.
Good, yeah, good question, Deputy Mayor. And nice to know that we will be able to continue with our projects going forward. Any other questions on the reports? Councilor Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With regards to the MCC concession report, the report states that we're going to get a fulsome report coming back on Q3. The report we have now just provides us with direct costs, and the indirect costs are not included in that report. So I'm hoping that when Q3 report comes to us that we get the total cost of operation of the concession. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I take it, Quinlan, Ms. Quinlan Murphy, that, would that be included in the Q3?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, we can put an allocation, let's say per square footage on, what the hydro would be, so we can look at including all that.
No, is that what you're hoping for, Council?
Correct, because right now, it looks like just basically the labor has been included
Okay,
for the direct costs, but there's no detail, so a fulsome report would be appreciated.
okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions on staff reports? Not seeing any. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The remainder of the consent agenda is information, correspondence, and advisory committee minutes.
Thank you. I believe on the drainage open house meeting, I'm glad to see that's taking place in February. I believe I've attended, if not all of them, the vast majority. It's not a meeting that gets a lot of people out, but it's nice that the town, it's great that the town has this meeting, and any resident that has questions, either about municipal drains or any other drainage questions, can have a first-hand talk with staff. And staff usually does a great job of showing up with the assorted maps and what have you. And I think it's a great information meeting for the community. Any other comments on those information correspondence? Not seeing any. Turn to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If there's no further conversation on the consent agenda, I have a motion put forward by Councillor Hildebrand, seconded by Councillor Wink. Be it resolved that the consent agenda items as listed on the January 28th, 2026 council agenda be received and the recommendations contained therein be approved. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Not seeing any further questions, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings you to item 11.2, staff reports requiring action. And our first staff report this morning is 11.2.1, easement agreement with Mountain View for Station Street reconstruction project. And I have a motion put forth by Councillor Kerr, seconded by Deputy Mayor Eckert. Be it resolved that Council receive report 2026-0015 for information, that Council approve the award of the construction of Station Street storm sewer outlet from Station Street to East Font Hill Channel to Beam Excavating Ltd. in the amount of $1,323,366.50, including HST. Including contingency, which will be funded through the existing approved capital project RD0226 Station Street Urbanization, HEWSF. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council on this item? I'd like to turn to the CAO. Pretty easygoing report. Any comments you'd like to add on that, sir?
It's a fortuitous opportunity. I say this without if you want proper engineering commentary, with people in the room who can provide that. But fundamentally, from where I sit, this allows us to meet all of our goals and timelines with the Hughes funding. And this project leads to the direct enablement of like 500 or 600 homes right away. So whether it's from Ontario's goals of more housing or our goal of getting this work done properly on time, these are two corporations with whom we have excellent track record over the years I've been here. So it's, and we get essentially the benefit of private sector contracting and bidding and very sharp pencils there, because they have the profit motive. So this seems like trusted partners timely hitting the public sector goals of servicing. And I don't know if there's more to be said, but fundamentally it ticks all the major boxes and is a very transparent way. And in fact, shovels will be in the ground while it's still really cold out, like this quarter, if the vote is yes, the movement is almost instantaneous. So that's also pretty remarkable. And as the report says, the substantive work would be done in year. I don't know how we do better than that, quite candidly.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn to council. Any comments or questions on the report? Councilor Kerr.
Yes, it's a good report, and I wholeheartedly agree with the fact that Beam Excavating was the one being involved. They have a tremendous track record within the Niagara region of being on time, on budget, and getting things done. So the fact that this is the one, is the primary entity involved, I think it makes huge sense, and the savings will be there. As I said, I've dealt with them on a number of occasions on other things and watched their work, and it's A1.
Okay, thank you, Councilor. Councilor Hildebrand?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I also agree. I think this is a great opportunity for us. I just want the Public Works Director to comment on the expenditure, the budget amount that's included in this report of over $1,300,000, because I know our consultants come up with a number, and we know what that number is, and this number is equal or better than we would have spent if we didn't do it ourselves. So if the Public Works Director could comment on that for me, please.
To the Director of Public Works, Mr. Martyr.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. So the overall budget for the Station Street project, which would include this piece of storm outlet, was $7.1 million. That was approved by council as part of the 2026 capital budget. As part of that overall project, our engineer's estimate for the work that was being contemplated to be performed through Mountain View through Beam was about 1.6 million, just over 1.6 million. So the estimates that we've got from the contractor, they came back with an estimate of about 1.1 million, just over 1.1 million. That didn't include any contingency in our project. In our estimates, we had included a contingency. So carrying that contingency, we estimate the total estimated cost to be about 1.3 million, which is about 20% lower than what our engineer's estimate was for that portion of the work.
Councilor?
Thank you.
Okay,
Great
thank you.
news.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Deputy Mayor Eckert.
So while Mr. Marr's on the hot seat, so basically what we're looking at here is we're getting the work done in a very timely fashion that will not hold up Mountain View's development, and we're getting it for less money than we originally thought it was going to cost us, because this is work that has to be done anyway.
To the Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So the portion of the work that would be completed on Mountain View's property is critical to the project. It's the first thing that needs to be done. It provides the storm outlet, so it's the bottom end of the storm sewer system for this project. So it's critical that that gets done now. We will be constructing we will have an easement agreement, but we will be constructing our storm sewer on essentially private property. So that makes the partnership with Mountain View critical in this sense. I'm not sure. It will allow them to advance some of their development on their properties south of Summersides. You can appreciate once we put a 1.3 meter diameter storm sewer in the ground, future servicing for their sites would be very difficult, and there would be obstacles to work around, which would be additional costs. So it gives them the opportunity to complete that servicing now and avoid those future conflicts. And the partnership allows us to get the storm sewer in the ground and give us a viable outlet so that we can tender and reconstruct Station Street and move ahead with our projects.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments on this agenda item? Not seeing any. I'll turn to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You may present the vote for council.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So without any further questions or comments, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries. To the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next item is 11.2.2, video surveillance and audio recording policy. And I have a motion put forward by Councilor Bernarski, seconded by Councilor Niznik. Be it resolved that council receive report 2026 S-0021 for information, that council approve the revised policy S-20319 as appended to the report to authorizing implementation of an audio recording program. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any counselor have any questions or comments on this report? Not seeing any. Councilor Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really wasn't going to say very much, but I think it's an excellent report. I appreciate the fact that we're going to be doing some audio reporting because it also is a transparency measure. Not only do we record what the resident or the call is saying, but also records what we're saying. So that's the good two parts of audio recording. It keeps us all on the same page. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor. Any further comments? Not seeing any, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next item is 11.2.3, EV chargers bagging report, and I have a motion put forward by Councillor Wink, seconded by Deputy Mayor Eckert. Be it resolved that Council receive report 2026-0027 for information. That Council direct staff to bag the 4 southernmost of 6 electric vehicle chargers in Pelham Town Hall for an 11 to 14-hour period during each of the seasonal weekly Town of Pelham Farmers and Supper Market and Peace Park concert series. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Go to Councilor Hildebrand.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for this report. It's an excellent report. We had a meeting on this yesterday. The one creative thing about this report is that the 2 charges that aren't going to be bagged are on the north side, and the cords actually reach over the boulevard into the far parking lot, which creates an opportunity for people to be charging, not the lot closest to Town Hall, but on the other side of the lawn, which I think was very creative. The other thing that I thought was amazing in the report, that over 50% of the charging hours were from town vehicles. I suspect that it may even be a higher percentage than that. So all in all, I think it's an excellent report, an excellent solution for extra parking, which is desperately needed in my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, especially during those 2 nights, it's always at a premium. Exactly. Any further council comments? Not seeing any. Call the vote. All those in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries. Oh. That was
Thank you. 3, Mr. Mayor. Our next item is 11.2.4, MCC Solar Panel Financial and Operational Update. And I have a motion put forward by Councillor Hildebrand, seconded by Councillor Kerr. Be it resolved that Council receive report 2026-0008 for information. That Council direct staff to proceed with option blank regarding next steps. And Mr. Mayor, there were 3 options contained within the report.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, before we open the council, I just want to, my own 2 cents is I hope this council goes for option 1, which would be to put this out on a bidding process. And it's a pretty big project, and I think that for the biggest bang for our community, for our taxpayers' dollars, just to make sure we're going down the right road, is to have competitive bidding take place on the project. But that's my my feelings on this. I open up the council for your comments and questions. Councillor Kerr.
Yes, I think it was highlighted that it's not a typical project, highly technical, and I think one of my concerns is going to be that a person be retained for a qualified rubric, in other words, an evaluation criteria. My concern being is sometimes the lowest bid may not necessarily be the best bid that we receive, and we have to have a mechanism in place in which to rationalize how we look at things. There have been situations in other provinces where some of these things that I've been privy to, people have come in, underbid, and suddenly also became, let's just say the end results were not particularly good. The quality of the workmanship, the quality of materials, quality of everything, and then suddenly there was a massive retrofit that had to take place. So I'm just, that's my concern is when you move into these types of things, that the people doing it are fully vetted, fully evaluated, but the criteria in which they are evaluated is not strictly on the dollars, but also the quality of the material in which they put forward. Sometimes we watch the dollars, but we don't recognize that sometimes the dollars don't match the quality that you require, and we get ourselves into kind of a hamstrung position. So that's just my comment, that hopefully, and it's nothing against our staff and everything, but this is a technical situation that may be best assisted by having external advice along with it for evaluation.
Thank you, Council. Let me turn to the CAO. After hearing the councillors' concerns, do you see that we would be safeguarding ourselves against these kind of shortcomings going forward?
There are three options before council, and the only one that would mystify me is not proceeding with the project. Like, I think the right way to talk about this is, it's fantastic. We have a way forward to save 6 figures every year in energy costs, to say nothing of, we didn't at all even try to quantify the environmental benefit. We didn't try to put any dollar value on that, the sustainability benefits and the benefit for the planet. So we have a great way forward. We're eligible for a significant, technically it's a rebate, call it a grant, whatever word you want, heavy subsidy, just below 50% of the entire project cost, which brings it down to roughly a 7.5-year payback, plus or minus a little bit. And if the rise in energy has risen at more than the rate of normal inflation every year for 5 or 6 years now, if that continues apace, the savings will be achieved even faster, the payback. So obviously proceeding was great. Like, this is a wonderful news story. Then it just comes down to how do we want to proceed. It is true, to both your points, so watch me do the dance. We have a default standard approach to purchasing and procurement that's based in widely recognized both legal duty and best business practices. And that is, of course, to try to invite the viable world to compete for the business in hopes of getting the best price. We've also been interacting with one specific provider who won a different open competition, has been giving us advice so far, and it's Brant Municipal Enterprises. It's municipally owned and operated and has a very good track record of doing this and is extremely trustworthy. So really, you're left with a beautiful dilemma. You can go with a known entity and it will be done faster because they're able to start, and that's great, and we can get to the financial savings and environmental benefit quicker. Or we can prioritize the basic economic and business theory that is public procurement is always defensible and, generally speaking, better way forward and intellectually honest. So those are good reasons to do that. You have two really good paths forward. I think the benefits of each are laid out. I hope they are in the report. And we're very happy to accept direction on either. This is one of those things upon which I think reasonable people would disagree because there are merits to each. The beautiful thing is the outcome should be a fabulous benefit to the corporation, to the community, and to the facility itself. Because if we're able to draw power, and even if power goes out elsewhere, we may default function for a period of time. Like there's just a lot of benefit to this plan and this program. Really proud to be associated with it, and I look forward to the outcome. I'm not alone in this room on that. But I don't know how staff can be more helpful. There are two very good ways forward. We ourselves see the merits to both and are kind of internally torn, so we're going to be very happy to take your direction.
Thank you for that. those comments, Mr. CEO. Back to council. Council Nesnick? Oh, okay, and then to Council Wing. Council Nesnick?
Yes, thank you very much. So just following up on the success of those 2 grants that we had applied for that we would have found out last year, February and summer of 2025, the outcome. So the feasibility study grant was denied and the implementation grant, those were both denied. Do you know, do they give you any feedback about why that's denied?
I can answer a bit of that, but I don't want to spend too much time elaborating on our normal grant funders and why we're unsuccessful with them.
Sure.
One program was really looking to fund, though you had to be able to store your own power.
Oh.
And we didn't qualify for the nature of what they were trying to encourage. They wanted to see electricity storage in various communities around Ontario. So that's really what they were trying to do. And so we just were. There are valid reasons why, and the other was a size, a project size. We weren't the scope and scale they were looking at and for. Fortunately, though, this rebate program, we are a perfect candidate, and we have effectively been pre-approved, and we're going to get, I don't know what it is, about 45 cents on the dollar or so. I don't have a calculator, but it's around that. So we have been successful for something we do qualify for, to the point where it makes it, I think, an exceptionally strong business case. None of which gets you out of the dilemma of picking how do we proceed.
Thank you.
He says, smiling sweetly.
Thank you. And then just to follow up, I know the presentation by BME, and then based on your comments that it is a municipally owned enterprise and very trustworthy. And as I said, I think they already have a track record of quality work being done. And I think the way they've outlined, or you've outlined the numbers, I think option 2 probably would be the best way to move forward. I guess my question to the treasurer is this money that we would need for this, should this be a priority project based on the fact that we're spending a lot of money on a lot of other huge projects, such as the fire hall, and we have a lot of big projects coming down the pipe in the next 2 years. So just want to make sure that this is money well spent now. And I know it's going to save us lots of money down the road. So, you know, you got to spend some money to make some money. So just clarify just about a little bit about the money if possible. Thank you.
To the treasurer, Ms. Quinlan Murphy.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. It's always challenging. I mean, this is a very unique time in the town of Pelham's history where we have a lot of capital projects, the biggest ever, especially with the $16.9 million grant. But this is also an opportunity, as the CEO has mentioned, to get a rebate of $517,000 is significant for us. I think if we don't do it now, we won't do it in the future. So this is where council has to sit back and say, do we really want those solar panels? And if the answer is yes, then I think this is the only time we can do it. It will put some strain, you know, in the short term with regards to the cash, but as you can see with the payback of 7 years, just from the savings of the hydro, it's definitely doable for the town. And then in the future, to over 25 years, to have the $1.4 million surplus, I think it definitely is, you know, a positive thing for us to move forward with.
Councillor?
Yes, so thank you very much. As I said, sometimes you do have to kind of bite the bullet going forward. So, okay, so then we just like to the rest of the world out there, no more big major projects coming down the pipe. We're going to be busy enough, so thank you. Yeah, I can support option 2 moving forward. The BME folks is my opinion. I don't think we need to go out to get the RFP or whatever, however you word that. I agree with Councillor Kerr. We could just move ahead with the folks that did the presentation. It was awesome, and I think the money savings would be great, and we can get the project underway and all completed by summertime. That'd be awesome.
Perhaps Councillor Kerr, anything you want to clarify?
No, actually, she's done a pretty good synopsis.
Oh, you hadn't actually.
I didn't formally say that I was in favor of number 2. However, I will say I'm in favor of number 2 because of the quality track record and premise at this point, and the capacity to expedite the situation. The faster we get this in, the faster we start to get the return. And that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll go to Councilor Wink, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I also would vote for option 2. I believe the BME has proven expertise in the municipal sector and getting this done. They were the ones who won the RFP for the feasibility study. I'm not sure how many other organizations put in for that particular RFP, but it's apparent that they know what they're doing. We're not going to get some fly-by-night company with a low bid doing this work. They've got the expertise. The timeline will be quick, and I'd say let's get this project going immediately. So option 2. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go away. Councilor Bernarski.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I will say that I am in support of option 2 as well, just as the other councillors have mentioned the reasons why. But just to confirm, if that were the option that was not picked, would there be a risk of losing that Save on Energy retrofit program because we've used BME in the eligibility rebate program, used their proposal? Is there any way that grant would be lost by not going with BME and putting it out to tender?
Mr. CEO?
So we'd made some inquiries to the potential provider of the rebates and to sort of sort through how this would work. And the rebate isn't contingent upon us doing business or not doing business with any particular party. That's not a consideration from their perspective. It's delivery of the project. But in fairness, to flip that around on the other side, if were we to go with option 1, as his worship suggests, we also aren't specifically in danger of losing access to the rebate. So we feel we're going to qualify for the rebate regardless of with whom we end up doing business. So that cuts both ways.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Councillor?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Councillor Hildebrand.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I guess I'm going to take a contrary view, and I'm going to agree with the mayor. I think both options, A, proceeding, is my vote. That's a for sure vote. Now, how we proceed is the question. I have a hard time spending that kind of money, and I believe our staff is capable, through assistance, of vetting proper solar qualified vendors. So I would be supporting option 1, but I'm good to go. Solar panels need to be put on the MCC. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Eckert.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with Councillor Hildebrand's comments and the mayor's comments. Generally speaking, I'm not in favor of sole sourcing after having just voted to sole source the project on Station Street, but that made sense to do it. In my mind, it makes sense to put this out to tender. It's a lot of money. It's a big project. And I think for purposes of transparency, that's the way to go. I have a sneaking suspicion I know who might win this if it goes out to RFP. And however council decides to go on this, whether it's option 1 or option 2, I am in total support of that because as Councillor Hildebrand says, we need to put solar panels on the roof of the MCC, not only for the purposes of saving energy costs, but for environmental benefits as well. So I am in support of option 1. However, I will not cry any tears if option 2 is chosen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. I believe all councils have talked. If I have any just final commentary of my own on this subject, when I ran for office, I swore to the people of this town that we were going to be transparent how we spent our money. If we indeed go to option 2 on this tender, that means that we have let out $2.5 million in this one council meeting without going to tender, which I think is against all rules of transparency. So I strongly hope that we stick to the transparent road that we are going down. There are lots of companies that install solar panels. There's one in particular that has done many jobs, millions of dollars of work in the Niagara Peninsula, and they have a gold standard of doing a good job, a lasting job. So to think that just because we had a presentation by one company and that's the only company that can do good work, I'm kind of disappointed in that. Anyway, I will be calling, when we have the vote, I will be asking for a recorded vote. I feel very strongly on this, that to let a project of this size go out without going to tender, that is not very transparent to the people of this town, and not a transparent way of spending taxpayer money. That's my final comments. Any final comments from anyone on council? Councilor Kerr.
I just have a question. If it went to RFP, what is the timeline for something like this to be prepared, sent out, a successful candidate to be found?
Councilor, or not Councilor, CEO Cribbs, perhaps?
We do have some language around that in the report, but that would be a project led by a combination of Mr. Cook, Mr. Marr, Ms. Van Ravensway, and one of our 2 treasurers. So I'm actually not as well positioned to answer that as several other people in the room. So maybe Mr. Marr come to my rescue.
To the Director of Public Works, Jason Marr.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, typically if we were going to put out an RFP for a project of this size and magnitude, we would probably be looking at a 3 to 4 month period, I would think. By the time we develop the terms of reference for the RFP, it's usually, a project like this is a minimum of 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, as advertised, and then we would have to beat an RFP. We would then need time following that for review and consideration of the RFP and scoring that RFP, then the award. So in my experience, it's anywhere between 3 and 4 months that would be added to the project.
Okay, thank you for that. Councilor?
Thank you. So in theory, so if the RFP goes out and the approval of the RFP and the awarding, you're saying would be 3 to 4 months? Or are you talking 3 to 4 months to get the RFP out, bring it back in, evaluate, and then go from there?
To the Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, if we started today, then I think we would be able to have an award in 4 months' time. That being said, this is a different type of project. Staff do not have the experience and abilities, and we would be looking for some outside resources to help us formulate the terms of reference for that RFP.
Councilor?
Thank you. Yeah, I guess, and to follow the mayor's comment about transparency, I understand that. I think functionally, what we're looking at is the original ask is 1.3, but after rebate, we're talking $750,000, which is, put it all in perspective at the point, 4 months plus potentially possibly another few months, 6 months, then acquisition of materials and everything else. We may be looking at a delay until for over a year in terms of installation and things, possibly to get it fully functional. So I'm prepared to take the heat, I guess is the way to describe it. I want to see it go forward, and I guess I feel better on this one than a $36 million bite that was done a few years back.
Any final comments? Councilor Nesnick.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate your stance on the transparency. However, I feel that this is very transparent today. We have a cost, we have a quote, we have an energy grant save of $517,000, and we have the report that outlines how it's going to be done, who it's going to be done by, and there is no hidden agenda here. It's a straightforward, very transparent process right now. So I'm still comfortable with option 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I call the vote, any further comments? To Councilor Bernarski.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. And sorry if this is a difficult question to answer, but for additional support to create the RFP, any idea what an additional cost would look like percentage-wise, what it would add on top of the cost already?
To the director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. In my experience, we're not really doing a design. Usually that would run somewhere around 5 to 7% of the total cost of the project to do that. I would anticipate we would need the assistance from experts in this field to develop and make sure we've got the right terms of reference. So I think it wouldn't be 7%, it might be closer to 5% of the project value.
Any further comments or questions? Okay, I'll call the vote, and I ask the clerk to please be
Sorry,
recorded.
through you, Mr. Mayor, we would just be looking for an amendment
Oh,
to insert an option of council's choosing before we vote.
I'm sorry, yes, of course. But we still have to vote on.
We will vote once there is an option on the floor. There
So we
currently is
need
no
an
option on the
amendment
floor.
then to.
Yes, to insert any of the options into clause 2.
Councilor Nesbitt, you willing to put that forward?
Sure, so I'll ask that the amendment be to include option 2.
Okay, thank you, and I'd be looking for a seconder.
Councilor Kerr, a second. Any further discussion on the amendment? Okay, not seeing it. A recorded vote on the amendment, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will call councilors by name if you could just indicate yes or no. Starting with Councilor Bernarski.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Eckert.
No.
Councilor Hildebrand.
No.
Councilor Kerr.
Yes.
Councilor Niznik.
Yes.
Councilor Wink.
Yes.
Mayor Junkin.
No.
Okay, thank you, and that amendment carries. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings you to the motion as amended, inclusive of option 2. And if Councilor Niznik and Kerr are okay, I will use them as mover seconder.
That's fine.
Excellent, thank you. And Mr. Mayor, that would be a vote on the motion as amended.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Excellent. Do I want to?
We can do a recorded vote again if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Sure. Okay, so the motion is to receive the report for information and direct staff to proceed with option 2 regarding next steps. I have that moved by Councilor Niznik, seconded by Councilor Kerr. And beginning with Deputy Mayor Eckert, yes or no?
I guess to be consistent, I'll say no.
Thank you, Councilor Hildebrand.
I gotta say yes.
Thank you, Councilor Kerr.
Yes.
Councilor Niznik.
Yes.
Councilor Wink.
Yes.
Councilor Bernarski.
Yes.
And Mayor Junkin.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and that carries.
Okay.
Okay, moving on, that brings us to item 14, and I have a motion put forward by Councilor Niznik, seconded by Councilor Bernarski. Be it resolved that Council of the Town of Pelham have consideration to the following. Now be ready for second, third time, and passed, and the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to sign and seal the bylaws as follows. Number 1, Bylaw 06-2026, being a bylaw to amend 4507-2022 for the purpose of clarifying and modernizing provisions related to public meetings and public participation. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions on this, on the bylaws? Not seeing any. I'll ask for the vote. All those in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That brings us to a resolution to move in camera, and I have a motion put forth by Deputy Mayor Eckert, seconded by Councilor Rink, That council resolve into closed session to considering the following matter: a closed session memo 2026-0032 municipal contracted services, personal matters about an identifiable individual as per section 239(2)B of the Municipal Act, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege as per section 239(2)F, and confidential trade secrets or sensitive scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations that was provided to the municipality in confidence and if disclosed could significantly harm someone's competitive position as per section 239(2)I. To you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Call the vote. All those in favor? See none opposed. Motion carries. We will now move in camera.